Hi, Amy Gonzalez here. I am going to be choosing the assignment based off of the Edgar Allan Poe short stories. I thought that was a really cool assignment. I was really excited when I read that that was going to be an option of something we get to do because I absolutely love Edgar Allan Poe. I actually got to go to his grave 2 years ago in Baltimore. It was really awesome. So I think I'm going to be including some of those photos along with this video just because I think it's cool. So the story I chose was The Telltale Heart. It's my favorite Edgar Allan Poe story, followed closely by The Mask of the Red Death. But The Telltale Heart is about a man who is living with another man. I get the sense that it might be his father, but it could just be, somebody that's sharing space with him, living in a building. It was, 1800s, so. So the first thing when they talk about the death, the first thing I wrote down was that he is old. So I figured that would have some impact on the embalming and also the arterial structure and how well it would hold up. Again, they also talk about the deceased's eye is glossed over and damaged, so that could also be something that you would have to take into accord. If there was damage to that eye, I'm sure you'd have to kind of keep an eye on it, no pun intended, while you were doing the embalming. The actual death occurs through suffocation. We know from our books and reading about people who have suffocated or even trauma due to like suicide hangings or anything like that, that there is a lot of trauma that occurs to the actual face. You can get like discoloration, all the blood in the face. People sometimes bite their tongues off. You can get the swollen eyes, swollen lips, things like that. If that were just the case, that's something that you would make sure that you took care of. I would probably do like a restricted cervical embalming, and I feel like that would be taken care of afterwards, all those discolorations and swelling and things like that. However, we know in the story that he just doesn't leave the body how it is. He cuts it up into pieces and dismembers it. So he has the head is in one piece, the torso is in another piece, the arms are separate and in a piece, and then the legs are separate and in a piece. So I'm sure is no doctor, so these are probably pretty gruesome wounds, probably jagged, chopping, not surgeon quality. So there would probably be a lot of damage to the skin, a lot of damage to obviously disrupting all of the arteries. And he buries them under the floor, so we know there's no obvious refrigeration. The body is probably going to start decomposing rather quickly. In the story, the police come pretty quickly. So it's not like the body is laying underneath the floorboards for like days or anything. So the decomp wouldn't necessarily be terrible. But still, if I were to get this body or body parts, dismembered body parts, I would do immediate treatment. I would probably arterial inject each part of the body, the head, the arms, the legs, the torso. I would also do any hypodermic or surface embalming that I needed to do, and cavity embalming. And then probably after all of that is when I would attempt to suture the limbs back on. And obviously, knowing what goes where, what's supposed to line up where, which arteries are supposed to line up, how a body is supposed to look, would help. Obviously, my knowledge of the body would be what would help me make sure that everything looked properly and was sutured together properly. I would wrap the body in plastic garments, dress the body, and then from there, you can start your restorative art, because we know we want dry, firm tissue. So I feel like from there, after you embalmed and after you did all the suturing back together, then you could start with any sort of cosmetic retouching you need, any feature building, any sort of, getting rid of all of the discoloration. And after you would be done with that, the hair and makeup and everything, you could hopefully have a body that you could present for a viewing in a coffin. I, to be truthfully honest, didn't even think about a body like fully dismembered, if we would even be able to do something like that. I mean, I've obviously known, we talked about like decapitations and putting a head back on a body, or losing an arm or a limb or something and putting that back on, but to have to attach a head, both arms and both legs, and still keep that body preserved for a visitation would definitely be something that a more advanced restorative artist would do. But I think it could be possible. I mean, I'm sure there's people that get in car accidents or plane crashes or things like that, where people find specific body parts, and I'm sure it's been done. So yeah, for this case, I guess that's what you would have to do. I didn't realize until, because I haven't listened to this story in such a long time, I kind of just remembered that he buried him in the floor. And then when I got to the part where he said he cut him up into pieces, I was like, oh shoot, this is going to be a difficult case. But yeah, so that's my take on the Telltale Heart. And I really enjoyed doing this. I thought it was really cool. Thanks.